Hi, I wanted to present a tutorial for the Unit 3 Critical Thinking because there are a couple things that are new and I just didn't want you to get lost in trying to find things. 3 questions to answer. The first one requires viewing a documentary that's 30 minutes long, but it's free for you because CCP has provided it. So let's follow the directions here. We need to go to the CCP website. We need to go to the Student tab. Okay. Important Links Library. All right. Go in that way. Databases, A through Z, and we're choosing Canopy. Now, the first time I did this, I had to actually log in twice, so you may need to log in again. Click on Canopy, and you're going to type in Place Matters. This is all in your directions, and here you go. You now have the documentary. You can watch it free of charge. There you are. Okay, now if we go back to the assignment, not only do you watch it, but you're going to explain how place influences health using examples from the documentary. So let's take this a step further and closer to home. We're going to go to the Health Explorer put out by the Philadelphia Department of Health. I am asked to go to the Geographic tab, the Choose a Category drop-down, Social Determinants of Health. So here you see things like adults completing college, unemployment, Philadelphians living in poverty, children living in poverty, children in single-parent households, social capital, housing cost burden, severe housing cost burden. I've asked you to find 2 districts that have very, very different social determinants of health. So let me find this again. I kind of messed that up when I scrolled around. So let's do this. Okay, and then we'll go back to social determinants of health. There you go. So you think about it and say, okay, which of these 2 districts do I think would be very, very different in terms of things like living in poverty, college education, and you're going to choose 2. So for instance, the Central District has 14.3% of Philadelphians living in poverty. Let's look at child poverty, 12.1% of children, and North is very, very different. And you would go back to your homework, okay? And if I chose Central and North, I would type Central, I would type North, and then I would lay out the statistics for each showing those sharp differences. Okay, what we're focusing on here is how place matters. So now we've chosen 2 places in our city that aren't that far apart, and yet the social determinants are vastly different. Let's go on to the last question. We've got these same 2. If I chose Central and North, okay, I'm going to compare Central and North. But I'm asking you now to look at 2 health issues. So let's go back, okay, and let's look at this drop down. So it might be obesity, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, HIV, child health, maternal and infant health. You can decide. But what you're going to do is for the 2 districts you chose, compare 2 health issues. So if I chose these 2, cardiovascular disease and diabetes, in the North, I've got 41.1% hypertension, 18% diabetes, and in the Central, very different numbers. Okay, so this last question has asked me to talk about those differences. So I would write down diabetes, cardiovascular disease, explain how they differ, but then why. So why are they so very different in terms of health? What social determinants might influence these different rates of heart disease, these different rates of diabetes or child health? Think about this. Remember, this is a critical thinking assignment. You're not meant to just throw the numbers on the paper. You're really meant to think about this like a health manager, like a public health expert, to think deeply. Okay.